with another of our Evolution Consulting info update videos as they have come to be known. This one is being recorded on the 23rd of December 2016. It is 5 o'clock. It's almost 5:30. It's already dark out. And obviously it is just after trading hours. All right. For those of you that are particularly observant, you would have noticed also in our market update section, we have our Dow 20,000 analysis, or lack thereof for that matter, thus far. All right, it will happen, just gotta wait for it. Because enough people want it to happen, it will happen. So that being said, guys, if you would like our take on Dow 20,000, certainly available in our market update section. However, as the title of this would suggest, there's another story this week. I mean, I think it's more significant than Dow 20,000, once again, or the lack thereof. Yeah, that's a major mile marker or a major milestone on a major U.S. equity index, guys. But the real story is being told by a triple-digit number, okay, and that is Bitcoin 900. All right, now, for those of you, we'll call it a little bit of a smug face, okay. For those of you that subscribe to Wirehouse, you're probably not all that surprised. We've been kind of calling this since early November. We started seeing the linguistics and the numerics suggesting that Bitcoin was about to take off again, and even in later October, but much lower levels. We were kind of in the blast furnace section of Switch and Signal. We were kind of like, now would be good. And we don't use that phrase often, but when we do, we mean it, okay? So that being said, guys, we take a look at Bitcoin 900, all right? And I'm not going to get into our philosophy or our approach or our analysis of what Bitcoin is or is not, other than to say that no, not for a split second and for no reason in any possible construment or translation of the word do we actually view Bitcoin as money. Not hardly. It's a trade. If anything, it's more of a trade than an equity, okay, or Forex. But in terms of Bitcoin 900, guys, if you want to call Bitcoin the canary in the coal mine a little bit, we forecasted that a lot of the currency instability, okay, would translate into higher Bitcoin prices, and that's Japan. You can see what's happening in India with the so-called banning of cash. They're banning certain denominations of Indian rupee. South America, you're seeing kind of the same thing. So we said, and also in Europe, it's really not making headlines yet, but in Europe, you're starting to see the instability in Europe, insofar as the euro dollar and the stability of the European Union and so forth, guys. And based upon our linguistics, and this is months ago, we said that's going to probably translate into Bitcoin first, okay? Because obviously there really isn't that much manipulation going on with Bitcoin. There isn't, the COMEX, there isn't the short contracts, and there isn't the naked shorting, etc. We can go on for hours about that, guys. But in terms of a more contemporary info update, this is only the beginning, okay? So, Bitcoin fanboys, you get to jump up and down and be happy, okay? This is only the beginning. And we called this, again, months ago for a very good reason. As more and more fiat currencies start to waver and they start to fail and they start to fall apart, guys, a portion of, each respective society, be that in India, be that in Japan, be that in Europe, okay, is going to turn to cryptocurrency for a number of different reasons, okay? Is it a replacement for fiat? At present, in the interim, sort of, okay? Not really in a practical sense, but yeah, somewhat. In terms of a temporary store of value, not to, for 1 second, even compare Bitcoin to gold, because that's just idiotic and pointless, but in terms of comparison to a failing fiat currency, does Bitcoin represent another sort of instant gratification option? Yeah, it certainly does. And we forecasted that all the currency instability that we're seeing, guys, we're seeing the beginning of an international currency war here. I mean, you want to talk about frickin' entertaining. It hadn't even started yet. Based upon what we're seeing from the 4.0 system, we haven't even run the ultra scans on it yet, okay? So it's going to get very interesting very quickly, shall we say. All right, but we kind of forecasted that a portion, what portion is very difficult to say, all right, because that would require the study of individual nations as opposed to the kind of broader range 30,000-foot macro overview approach that we take. But a portion, a certain percentage of nations or populations of nations, guys, will turn to Bitcoin in the event more stuff like we're seeing in India is happening, where they're banning certain denominations of the various national currencies, or there's national currencies, devaluations, and you can even point to China on that. I mean, in terms of the devaluation of the Chinese yuan, there's an ulterior motive there, rest assured. But in the interim, a portion of the Chinese public, a portion of the Indian public, a portion of the Japanese, Europeans, and Americans, South America, I mean, you name it, where there is that significant currency instability, guys, a small portion or a portion of that respective nation's population is going to turn to Bitcoin. And that's exactly what we forecasted. We were months ahead of it, again. Which is kind of comical, because somebody asked me recently if I get bored doing this. They said, it's getting ho-hum, it's evolution proven correct, aren't you getting bored? I said, I am having more fun doing this now than I ever have before. I really am. Just because so many of those over-the-horizon forecasts that we made, where it's like, you put one out there and somebody says, it'll never happen. So many of those are happening now, guys. So if you think I'm getting bored doing this, I haven't even gotten started yet. Okay, but in the interim, guys, that Bitcoin 900 really represents kind of a tell, a leading indicator that exists largely outside of what we would consider mainstream economics. So it's going to be really interesting now to see, because somebody put up a chart recently of the inverse of Bitcoin and physical gold spot prices. It's going to be real interesting to see, guys. Now, we have absolutely zero information indicating any of what I'm about to hypothesize is the case. In fact, very well may be the opposite. We haven't really sat down and studied specifically the correlation between Bitcoin and gold. We just haven't. Probably should, but we haven't. But based upon hypothesis and a couple of discussions that we have with the Evolution dev team, we're going to start to look, guys, to see if Bitcoin is a bit of a leading indicator for precious metals. Again, that's a hypothesis, We've studied precious metals intensively. We've studied Bitcoin intensively, but separate of each other, not really in terms of a correlation one to the other, guys. So that's going to be in the upcoming January edition of Wirehouse, which is in a new format. Guys, but in terms of Bitcoin 900, guys, Bitcoin 1,000, sure, why not? For those of you that are familiar with our approach to Bitcoin trading or Bitcoin investing, you will invariably at this point, guys, you will be thinking, oh boy, here we go, tulip bulbs in Amsterdam. When we suggest trading Bitcoin, guys, or when we suggest putting capital into Bitcoin, my God almighty, are we talking about speculation, If you want to see what we're really on about there, please do take a look at the tulip bulbs in Amsterdam chart. There's no warning. It was this and that. As a matter of fact, I've used it before. I'll put it up again in the edit just so you guys know what I'm talking about, But in terms of the significance of Bitcoin 900, that is the very first sign, or the very first real byproduct of these currency wars that are going on, where it's basically devalue or die, as some people have been putting it. So even at current levels, guys, do we see Bitcoin 1,000 near term? Probably. Higher than that? Probably. Where does it top out at? No idea. Haven't studied it. Do we go through 2,000? We've seen information indicating that is a very real possibility as more and more nations' fiat currencies fail. But what's going to be interesting, guys, again, the one that we're excited about, and I usually don't try, I don't like to tease topics that we're going to research, but the correlation between Bitcoin and precious metals, to see if Bitcoin suddenly becomes a bit of a leading indicator for precious metals in terms of how something that's not fiat will react. Sans naked short contracts and stuff like that. Does that become something of a leading indicator? If so, then we've scored there. If we can confidently say that, and we only will say that if we have utmost confidence in the research. But if that turns out to be the case, guys, oh boy, that's going to be significant. So again, we haven't studied it. It's only a hypothesis at this point. So again, just wanted to touch on Bitcoin 900 real quick, and again, just. That's based upon what we've seen, guys. That's only the beginning. We called it in Switch and Signal. We called it, late October, early November. We said, here we go. And not surprisingly, it's one thing just to get it, right and say the price will increase, the valuations will increase, guys. But it's another reason to get it right and get the catalyst right as well as to the why. So we're pretty proud of that call. And yeah, this is a little bit of a smug face video, admittedly. So, but with that being said, guys, just want to mention real quick also, Wirehouse. Okay, we've been, speaking of teasing, we've been kind of putting little bits and pieces and graphics and components up of the new version of Wirehouse. And I just want to take this opportunity to say this, guys, in chatting with the dev team, and they know I enjoy doing this, okay? They basically came out with exactly what I was kind of thinking, which is if you're going to do something, or if we're going to do something at Evolution, we're going to overdo it, okay? We're going to go complete overkill. We're going to deliver the absolute best product that we possibly can. And that kind of has been the case for, really all the products that we've released. It's, we dare say at this point, and again, you can say what you like about it, but based upon tangible results, guys, we have to say that Evolution, the 4.0 system, even running on the minimal resources that it's been running on, guys, is the best of the best when it comes to forward-looking trend forecasting. I mean, it's just been frighteningly accurate. And again, as we start to, if you look over my shoulder here, you start to see the beginnings of the Ultra system, guys. What the hell that's capable of, I have no idea, but we're sure as hell going to find out, and it's going to be very exciting, I can tell you that much. But in terms of the new Wirehouse, guys, in speaking with the dev team, I said, we're going to do something, we're going to overdo it, we're going to overkill it, and that's exactly what we've chosen to do, guys. I am unusually proud of the new format of Wirehouse. I mean, we've stuffed more topics in there, even put a humor column in there, all right, which is just... people that know me personally, they will tell you I have a sense of humor. It can be twisted sometimes, but I do have a sense of humor. And I've kind of put a little column in towards the end of Wirehouse. We really made it a very nice publication. Not to say that it wasn't good to begin with, but we've taken, it's the evolution of evolution, guys. So we're pretty excited about that. Again, if you guys are interested in that, you can check it out. evolutionconsulting.world. Yearly subscriptions, $100 a month. And we are going to be including, it's not all the doom and gloom stuff, guys. If that's what you're looking for, look elsewhere. Okay, it's is there a bit of doom and gloom in there? Yeah, there certainly is. But it's only because we're telling you the way it is and how you can prosper as a result of it, not to complain about it and whine about it. All right, and there's also a lot of technology. We're going to be doing a lot of hands-on technology reviews and stuff like that, product reviews. So we're really excited about that. And again, if you're looking for just a doom and gloom, woe is me shit, look elsewhere, guys. All right. Like I said, I've said it many times on radios before. I said there's plenty of people out there that'll tell you what you want to hear. I'm not one of them. All right. So with that being said, guys, also speaking of Bitcoin traders, and who this may be the first time you're ever watching any of our Evolution Consulting work or any of our researchers, first time you're hearing the sound of my voice, please do, if you would like a fast-forward version of our approach to Bitcoin, which, as you can see, is already proven quite accurate, please do tra-la-la on over to evolutionconsulting.world, guys, and there is a 1-hour audio format Bitcoin podcast there, okay? That is the fast-forward, up-to-speed, our approach to cryptocurrencies, all cryptocurrencies. But we do, when we say cryptocurrency, we mean Bitcoin, guys, and the reason we do that is because it's the most liquid market, okay? I know there's altcoin and Litecoin and 65 million other different coins out there, okay? But we stick to Bitcoin just because the market's proven to be stable and most liquid. All right, guys, so that being said, as always, again, we will certainly be doing the research to see if we can make a correlation between Bitcoin and precious metals. I have no idea. It should be entertaining. All right, and beyond that, guys, based upon our forecast, we're seeing Bitcoin going higher as more. And again, if it's as devalued, it shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, it's really one important point I'd like to add before we conclude with our usual shtick is Bitcoin reacts to currency instability or fiat currency devaluation the way gold and silver used to 20 years ago. Okay, it's not this, look, and it's not those. There's the smash downs aren't there. The manipulation isn't there. It's reacting the way precious metals did 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Okay, before the manipulation started getting really ridiculous. All right, so that's something else that should be said. And it's really it's interesting. Okay, I don't know how to put that any other way other than from a purely macro observational standpoint, guys. It's very interesting to watch. And again, if we can make that correlation between precious metals and use Bitcoin as something of a leading indicator, oh man, we hit the mother lode there. So we'll keep you posted, guys. Again, hope you enjoy these. If you like what you see, do hit the like and subscribe button down there. All right. Like I said, we're not going to be putting out as many of these as we used to. Again, we've just got so much stuff to do now on the corporate front, on a lot of the proprietary research that we're doing, and we were very forward in saying that. But we do still try to get these out once or twice a month now. 3 times a month if we can do it. But again, your real access to our deep level research and our, especially now with the Evolution Ultra System, guys, is going to be through Wirehouse or Switch and Signal, which is our active trading journal we do occasionally. We usually mention cryptos in Switch and Signal, even if it's only briefly. So that being said, guys, evolutionconsulting.world if you're interested in any of that. And of course, if you would like to email us, somewhere over there it usually is. I don't know where the hell it is. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. Is that it? It's not there. That's better. Info@evolutionconsulting.world. Info@evolutionconsulting.world. Guys, if you do wish to email us, and of course, if you would like to follow us on Twitter, we have been in a rare mood on there recently. We've been having some fun. Evo at that thing, whatever the hell that is, at Evo_consultants. At Evo_consultants, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Be good. Have a wonderful holiday. Everything really is a transaction.